Sam Blakeman reaches breaking point in Coronation Street as the troubled youngster lashes out at Will Driscoll with shocking words during an emotional confrontation. Sam had previously been the only person in Weatherfield to realize that fellow student Will was being manipulated into an inappropriate relationship by teacher Megan Walsh. Although Sam exposed the truth, the ordeal left him deeply traumatized after enduring threats, intimidation, and emotional pressure from Megan. The stress became so overwhelming that Sam suffered a collapse after taking medication that had not been prescribed to him. But even once Megan's crimes were uncovered, Sam's problems were far from over. Because police initially struggled to gather enough evidence against Megan, Will blamed Sam for interfering in what he wrongly believed was a genuine relationship. The situation escalated into relentless bullying, badly affecting Sam's mental health. As his anxiety worsened, Sam began suffering frightening hallucinations involving Will chasing and threatening him. In one upsetting incident, he imagined an argument with Will so vividly that he accidentally smashed his treasured telescope. More recently, Sam overheard Nick Tilsley and Toya Battersby discussing a wine delivery, but in his distressed state, he believed they were calling him a liar who was jealous of Will. He later experienced another disturbing hallucination involving Roy Cropper, who appeared to warn him that nobody around him could be trusted. Meanwhile, Will has also been struggling emotionally after finally realizing Megan had manipulated him all along. His decision to report her to police came after a heartfelt conversation with Tim Metcalf, who shared his own experience of abuse. Will was also devastated to discover Megan had only booked a one-way ticket to Paris for herself. Although Megan was eventually arrested, Will's recovery has been difficult. He feels isolated and confused, even wrongly accusing Bethany Platt of inappropriate behavior when she simply tried to comfort him. Family tensions between Ben and Maggie have only added to his distress. Upcoming episodes see matters take another tragic turn when Sam confronts Will in the cafe and furiously tells him he is evil, even wishing death upon him. The cruel remark leaves Will emotionally shattered. Later, Will overhears Ben tearfully admitting to Eva Price that Megan has destroyed his son's life. Completely overwhelmed, Will drinks vodka before climbing dangerously high onto scaffolding in the builder's yard. Asha Alahan spots him and quickly contacts Maggie for help. Desperate to save her grandson, Maggie climbs up to reach Will and tries to convince him that he can still take back control of his future. As the frightened Driscoll family watch on below, the question remains whether Maggie can persuade Will to come down safely. Coronation Street is set to deliver another major twist in Theo Silverton's murder storyline, as Tyrone Dobbs suddenly becomes linked to the investigation in surprising circumstances. In tonight's episode, Summer Spellman is questioned by police over her whereabouts on the night Theo died. During the tense interrogation, she unexpectedly tells officers that Tyrone can support her version of events. Tyrone is usually seen as one of Weatherfield's most dependable residents, making him the perfect person to provide an alibi. However, the situation quickly becomes complicated because his account does not match Summer's claims. Summer was arrested after George Shuttleworth informed police that he saw her hurrying away from Theo and Todd Grimshaw's flat around the estimated time of the killing. Investigators are also suspicious about a brooch Summer wore at Carla and Lisa Connor Swain's wedding reception, which was later discovered stained with blood. Explaining herself to detectives, Summer insists she only visited the flat to see Todd, but found Theo there instead. She claims Theo behaved aggressively and frightened her badly. According to Summer, she escaped the moment he released her and rushed out of the flat as quickly as possible. Summer also says her smashed phone was lying on the floor and that Tyrone saw her leaving the building. She believes Tyrone also spotted Theo alive in the flat window, which would prove she could not have murdered him. A flashback scene appears to support Summer's story, suggesting she may be telling the truth. However, when D.S. Connor Swain later questions Tyrone, he nervously denies witnessing anything useful. When Summer later learns about Tyrone's statement, she insists he is lying. Unfortunately for her, the damage is already done, as she is formally charged with murder and faces being kept in custody while the investigation continues. With Tyrone hiding something and Summer unable to uncover the truth, Theo's exit storyline has become even more mysterious and unpredictable. Coronation Street is preparing more drama for Daniel Osborne as he becomes the victim of a frightening public attack in upcoming scenes. Daniel's ordeal begins to move beyond social media after cruel online accusations make him a target in real life. The abuse stems from vicious posts written by Jody Ramsey using the fake online identity Truth Teller. Next week's episodes see Daniel planning a fun day out with his son Bertie and Bertie's grandfather Ken Barlow. However, before they can leave, Bertie and Ken both head back into number 1 for last-minute toilet trips, leaving Daniel waiting alone outside. While standing on the street, Daniel is suddenly approached by 2 young men who had been secretly watching him earlier. The pair throw paint over him and film the incident on their phones, hoping to provoke a reaction. Their plan works when Daniel angrily lashes out, potentially giving the attackers footage that could damage his reputation online even further. Earlier this week, Coronation Street confirmed that Jody has secretly been behind the hateful Truth Teller account responsible for spreading lies about Daniel. The false rumors wrongly suggest Daniel played a role in Megan Walsh's grooming of teenager Will Driscoll, turning public opinion against him. Jody appears to be deliberately causing chaos, so Daniel becomes dependent on her support and friendship, particularly as she currently has nowhere else to stay. The big question is whether Daniel will soon realize she has betrayed him. According to a Weatherfield insider, the smear campaign has spiraled far beyond Jody's control. What began as anonymous online abuse has now encouraged strangers to target Daniel in public because of false accusations connected to Megan. Future scenes will also show Jody beginning to regret her actions after discovering that Daniel's young son Bertie is being affected by the situation too. Unfortunately, by that stage, other internet trolls have already joined the attacks, making the situation increasingly dangerous and difficult to stop. Leanne Battersby could finally be heading toward a new romance in Coronation Street, though viewers know that love on the cobbles rarely comes without complications. Leanne's romantic history has certainly been dramatic over the years, from manipulative cult leader Rowan to childhood sweetheart and former husband Nick Tilsley, who betrayed her with her sister Toya Battersby. Her relationships have often ended painfully. She also endured a turbulent marriage to Peter Barlow and a brief romance with Steve McDonald, which was followed by the devastating loss of their baby son Oliver. Now, however, a fresh relationship may offer Leanne a welcome escape from the chaos surrounding Megan Walsh and recent vigilante drama. Executive producer Kate Brooks recently introduced viewers to a brand new character named Idris, who is connected to Alia Nazir as her cousin. Kate described him as extremely charming and charismatic, though she also hinted that he has a ruthless side hidden beneath the surface. According to her, Idris is a clever businessman who knows exactly how to win people over while not being afraid to play dirty when needed. Kate also confirmed that Idris will become a romantic interest for Leanne, with an instant attraction developing between them that gives Leanne renewed confidence and excitement. Naturally, in true Coronation Street style, things may not be as straightforward as they seem. Idris first arrives in Weatherfield during dramatic scenes at Speed Doll, stepping in when a group of rowdy businessmen begin causing trouble for Brody. After forcing the men to leave, he is warmly greeted by Alia, while Leanne notices him for the first time. Later, Idris impresses Leanne again when he helps deal with a thug threatening her. Afterwards, he invites her for drinks at the Rovers, where the pair quickly bond and sparks begin to fly. Before long, Idris leans in for a kiss, leaving Leanne hopeful that romance could finally be returning to her life. However, Alia reacts with shock when she discovers Leanne has kissed Idris and urgently warns her to stay away from him. The reason soon becomes obvious when Idris later turns his attention to Tracy Barlow and begins openly flirting with her as well. Leanne and Tracy already share a complicated history, particularly after Tracy once attacked Leanne over Steve McDonald. While Leanne is more than capable of standing up for herself, getting caught in a rivalry with Tracy is never a wise move. With Idris now charming both women at the same time, trouble appears inevitable, and Leanne may once again be heading for heartbreak. Coronation Street is broadcast on ITV1 on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. and can also be streamed on ITVX.